Iron Flame is not a book, it's chaos with dragons. Violet's heart is a mess, everyone's lying, and nothing is safe. Not even your feelings. Let's get into it. She wakes up in Basgiath bruised, broken, and one emotional support dragon away from losing it completely. Her bones are still filing complaints from everything she barely survived last year, but guess what? There's no time for recovery naps or emotional processing. The school's already back in full chaos mode, acting like nobody almost died horrifically. The walls look the same, but everything else? Vibes ruined. Her rank questioned, her loyalty suspicious, her strength currently being held together by caffeine, spite, and Andarna's glow-up. Zayden vanished. Classic. Nothing says healthy relationship like a post-war disappearing act. Brennan's alive, which is great. If you like vague answers and secret rebellion meetings, he's basically walking plot twists and dramatic pauses now. Taryn, still giving legendary dad energy and judging everyone like it's a full-time job. Andarna has evolved from adorable sky hamster to time-warping sparkle demon, and honestly, it's impressive. Then there's Vice Commandant Vanishes. Think, if a brick wall and a superiority complex had a baby. He's got one goal, break Violet. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, and honestly, he's really committed. New punishments, new rules, new ways to almost die during lunch. Violet's trying to pretend she's fine, but she's not even a little. Things are tense, and that's the polite version. Violet isn't healing. She's surviving on stubbornness, adrenaline, and whatever questionable food Basgiath is serving that week. Every hallway feels like a battlefield. Every conversation feels like a trap set by someone with perfect posture and too much ambition. Dane is still stuck in his savior era, acting like he owns the manual on Violet's life just because they once studied flashcards together. His version of helping includes talking over her, doubting her instincts, and making that face like, "Ah, you tried." Brennan's back from the dead and clearly got a discount on the mysterious rebel leader personality pack. Every time Violet asks him something serious, he hits her with a cryptic one-liner and disappears into the shadows like he's cosplaying emotional detachment. And Zayden? Oh, Zayden strolls in like the human version of a plot twist, broody, hot, and clearly withholding at least 7 major secrets. He says nothing, but somehow still manages to emotionally wreck her with just one stare. Violet's emotionally spinning like a dragon with vertigo. She's not sure if she wants to kiss him, slap him, or throw him off a cliff and then dive after him. Love is so annoying. And yet, she still wants him. Unfortunately, it's the world's worst plot twist. The heart wants what the brain filed under absolutely not. No matter how many times she reminds herself that he lied, disappeared, and emotionally gutted her like it was part of the syllabus. Her feelings are like, but he has nice cheekbones. Love clearly missed the memo on logic and self-respect. Zayden's silence hurts more than any insult ever could, but her traitor heart keeps replaying the version of him that held her hand and said she was worth everything. Now, he looks at her like she's both the answer and the problem. It's emotional whiplash with a six-pack. It's like mourning a person who's still very much alive and still unfairly hot. She knows she should move on, run, slam the emotional door, and throw away the key, but letting go of him feels like forgetting how to breathe. And every time he walks into a room, her resolve gets up, grabs a snack, and leaves. But there's no time to unravel the emotional mess in her head because the war isn't on the horizon. It's already kicking down the doors. Battles aren't just being planned anymore. They're happening, exploding, turning classrooms into war zones and missions into body counts. Violet finds herself pulled into raids that were supposed to be training exercises, ambushes that leave scorch marks on stone walls, and strategy meetings that feel more like countdowns to funerals. She's not just a student anymore. She's a target, a weapon, and somehow a symbol. The revolution she never signed up for is suddenly looking at her like she's the key to everything, and the pressure is crushing. Every day, someone she knows just doesn't come back. No warning, no goodbye, just gone. Riders are literally bursting into flames mid-air like it's some twisted version of a fireworks show, and dragons are screaming in ways that make your spine want to file a noise complaint. Meanwhile, innocent people, cadets, kids, probably someone who just wanted to pass ethics class, are being shuffled around like pawns in a deadly chess game, except both sides are cheating and someone lit the board on fire. The Academy's rules? Paper decorations at this point, curfews are a joke, safety protocols are just suggestions, and survival has officially become extra credit. Violet's running on fumes, rage, and whatever's stronger than caffeine. Probably illegal, probably effective. She's tired in a way sleep can't fix, grieving people who still have lockers, and ready to punch the next person who says, "for the greater good." But she doesn't stop. She can't. Every morning she wakes up, straps on her armor, and tells herself to just make it till lunch. Because if she hesitates, if she takes even one breath too long, she's next. And honestly, she's got way too much unresolved trauma to die just yet. She trains like her life depends on it. Because it does. Every bruise, every scream, every fall just adds fuel to the fire inside her. Her body aches, but she keeps going. because pain means progress. She studies strategy like it's a weapon, calculates weakness in every opponent, every friend, every system. She's done waiting to be saved, done being underestimated. What started as survival has turned into something else, something sharper. She wants power, not to destroy, but to finally decide for herself who lives, who leads, and who pays. She's no longer just part of the story. She's rewriting it. And then, just when it seems like she's finding her footing again, Zayden betrays her, quietly. Not with a fight, not with a lie to her face, but with the kind of silence that says everything. He makes decisions without her, big ones, dangerous ones, the kind that reshape the war and fracture her trust. And when she finds out, he doesn't deny it. He just looks at her like she should understand, like his reasons should be enough, but they aren't. Because it's not just what he did, it's what it means. That he didn't believe in her enough to share the risk, that he saw her as someone to protect, not someone to stand beside. It's a betrayal of the quiet kind, the kind that lingers. It doesn't explode, it erodes. She doesn't cry, doesn't scream, she just breaks inwardly. And from that moment on, a wall goes up. Not around her heart, around her hope. Before we continue with this video, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. Violet doesn't cry, doesn't scream. She just shuts down like a window during a hurricane. Quiet, sealed, and terrifying. And if you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, you know that kind of silence isn't peaceful. It's plotting. It's I'm fine, but with murder behind the eyes. She doesn't throw a fit. She starts taking notes. Political notes. Strategic, deadly, dramatic notes. Suddenly, she's skipping emotions and going straight to war room energy. She makes moves, the kind that could get her killed or crowned depending on the mood of the dragons. She forms alliances with people who make her skin crawl, smiles at enemies like it's prom night, and casually rewrites the power structure of an entire war college. Zayden might have broken her trust, but now he's just one of many variables. Because Violet, she's done playing the love-struck student. She's entering her villain origin phase with excellent posture and terrifying precision. She leans into the version of herself that doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't ask for permission, doesn't wait for someone to choose her, and definitely doesn't apologize for being terrifying. She stops softening her edges for people who only ever saw her as fragile. Now, she's the threat, calculating, quiet, and sharp enough to make even the bravest riders pretend they suddenly forgot how to make eye contact. And weirdly, she kinda likes it. Power suits her. Emotional detachment, surprisingly efficient. Maybe being the soft, kind version of herself only got her broken bones and sleepless nights. Maybe surviving means becoming someone even she wouldn't have recognized a year ago. Someone dangerous, someone unbothered, someone who smiles while planning your downfall. And if that scares people, good, because Violet's done pretending kindness works in a world ruled by dragons, warlords, and backstabbers. She's trading in empathy for strategy, and honestly, it's about time. If burning the world down is what it takes to protect the people she still has left, then pass her the matches. The battles that follow aren't just brutal. They're straight-up cinematic chaos. Explosions, fire, wings, screaming. Honestly, it's giving season finale with no budget limit. Violet is in survival mode 24/7, barely sleeping, barely eating, but somehow still showing up with her braid intact and a dagger up her sleeve. Emotionally, she's fried. Physically, one bruise away from shattering. Mentally, holding it together with sarcasm and spite. She's grieving people who are technically still breathing, but already feel lost. Fighting side by side with allies who suddenly look at her like she might be the danger. And yet, somehow, in all the wreckage, she still finds tiny sparks of humanity. Imogen gives her a nod like, "We're not dead yet, so that's nice." Riddick drops a dumb joke mid-battle just to make her snort. And then there's Zayden, still managing to send one look across the room that ruins her emotional stability for the next 72 hours. Because love doesn't follow logic. It clings, it festers, it shows up in the middle of a war zone like, "Hey, remember me?" And Violet, she remembers, unfortunately. But Violet doesn't spiral. She doesn't collapse in a dramatic heap or write sad poetry in the corner. Nope, she weaponizes it. Every loss, every betrayal, every "you're not strong enough" gets filed away as motivation. She keeps moving like a force of nature in a braid and boots, plotting like a chess master with a personal vendetta. They wanted to break her? Cute. Now she's the storm system they whisper about in strategy rooms. When the final showdown comes, she doesn't tiptoe in. She marches, head high, zero hesitation. The kind of entrance that says, "I've buried all my feelings and replaced them with violent purpose." She has nothing left to lose, which makes her terrifying. The girl who once hoped to be chosen is gone, replaced by someone who chooses herself. Every single time. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about truth, freedom, and maybe a little chaos. for flavor. Because if the system wants to burn, Violet's more than happy to light the match and make it look like an accident. The ending isn't clean, because of course it isn't. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a war story with dragons, trauma, and just enough emotional damage to keep you up at night. There's no victory parade, no group hug, just blood on the floor, and Violet standing in the wreckage like, well, that happened. She survives, but just barely. And survival, it doesn't come with confetti, it comes with scars, some visible, some stitched deep into her soul. She's not the same girl who walked into Basgiath with shaky hands and something to prove. That version of her died somewhere between the betrayal, the battlefield, and the emotional whiplash that is Zayden Rearson. What's left? Sharper, colder, less likely to cry, more likely to stab, but also clear. For the first time, Violet sees the game for what it is, and she's not playing defense anymore. And as the dust settles and the broken pieces stop shifting, one thing becomes painfully obvious. Nothing's going back to the way it was. Not the world, not the war, not Violet. And honestly, maybe that's exactly what it needed. No bow, no peace, just the promise that next time, she's the one setting the rules. And that's the point. Iron Flame doesn't want to comfort you. It wants to break you, to shake the ground you thought was solid, to make you question every loyalty, every romance, every fragile idea of what right looks like in a world built on war. It's raw, unforgiving, and absolutely unforgettable. So yeah, maybe we're all a little unhinged for loving this book. Maybe we should seek therapy instead of sequels. But here we are, clutching our annotated copies, obsessing over every painful detail, and already counting the days until the next one drops. And if you're still here, still processing, still crying over Violet and Zayden and dragons and deaths, same. Welcome to the club. We don't have answers. We just have emotional damage and extremely high expectations for book 3. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.